Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. I don't know how beautiful it is. It is blowing. You can see that nasty ocean behind us. We told you that this was in the forecast, and it has manifested itself for sure. I don't even know how good this is going to be. Woo! Sand blowing through here. It is nasty, and I hope you can hear this. We're going to give it our very, very best here in the morning briefing. At least you get a look at the ocean here today. Why we were telling you you didn't want to come anywhere near this. All right. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you can, share these videos with a friend. It's too cold to be down here in swim trunks and no shoes. Also, tick the bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. And if you wouldn't mind, also, what else am I supposed to say? Oh, follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. All that would be deeply appreciated. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Greg Bates, you can't see him, but he's holding the camera because it's really nasty here this morning, and it would definitely have blown over by now. Get a little bit of a break in the wind, but it's going to gust up here again. Let's just talk Mexico quickly. I mentioned to you that down in Cabo, there's still some decent marlin fishing for striped marlin. Also, some yellowfin tuna down there in that neck of the woods. And we continue to see some pretty darn good fishing on Dorado and occasional wahoo down there. Also, up there in the San Quintin area, that's only 140 miles below the border. We are seeing some really excellent fishing on rockfish. Not today. It's windy down there also. But rockfish down there in that neck of the woods, and we are also seeing some occasional good flurries of yellowtail, which bodes really well for the upcoming Punta Colinet season. Colinet's 120 miles below the border, and the boys down there out of San Diego will run those day-and-a-half trips down there and fish that area, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Ensenada, the commercial fleet down there that focuses on bluefin tuna, have already almost reached their quota for 2024. About the middle of the month, they should be done. And that is pretty incredible when you think about it, my friends. That means no more commercial pressure on our bluefin tuna fishery down there in Ensenada. So that is absolutely incredible stuff. Don't forget, I had to turn my back to this, man. Thank God Greg is standing in front of the camera, or it would be just doused in sand right now. Don't forget, we have that 5-day trip coming up. Oh my God, it's windy down here. Woo! 5-day trip on board the Independence. We'd love to see you on board that one. April 4th through the 9th out of Point Loma Sport Fishing in San Diego, California. It's not raining, but it's raining sand, I can tell you that right now. We'd love to see you on that one. There's the phone number for you. Hope you can join us on that great trip. All right, let's get into a little bit more about what is going on, and some of that is the local fishing we have here. The Pride yesterday ran that trip, and it was a special trip. Mike, the galley chef, just lost his wife in a tragic automobile accident, actually a motorcycle accident. And, whoa, here comes the tide too, baby. Whoa. We're going to have to get the hell out of here pretty soon, Greg. And they ran that trip. It was an overnight trip. All proceeds went to, and if we need to move back a little bit, Greg, we can do that. I don't want you to get all soaking wet. You want to do that? All right, we're just going to move back here, folks. Greg looks like he's going to get blown over. And I hope you can hear some of this, at least. And it was an overnight trip on board the Pride. 11 halibut, 1 white sea bass released. Pretty darn good fishing there. Nothing wrong with that for sure. Hey, we mentioned all this market squid up and down the coast. Check out Paul O'Barry's post on Facebook. They are power brailing squid. And my God, does that not illustrate how much market squid is in the Southern California environment this year, and that bodes well for the season to come. I will tell you right now, really looks good. It's a magnet, all that squid, that attracts predators into the area. That's why we're catching halibut right now. That's why that bluefin tuna is not going anywhere, and that's why 2024, this year, the spring bite should be spectacular, and I will have our charter list up for you tomorrow. So that is great news. Reverse 2.5-day trip on board the Apollo in June out of 22nd Street landing. That's going to be a great one. You're going to want to get on that one for sure. So Pride was some pretty darn good fishing. Rockfish is closed up and down the coast, but that doesn't stop guys from focusing on the halibut as well as focusing on sand and calico bass. In the wintertime, bass bite has been pretty good. You can see Peggy Dodge, Dave Dodge's wife, with a nice sand bass. Also, Paul Morgan, private boater, with a nice sand bass. And also, we saw the gale force out with some good structured bass fishing yesterday. And our friends, of course, Michael Limon, his grandpa, Dan Lightfoot, and Nick Ramirez, they were on board the Monte Carlo. They had a lot of fun catching bass. In fact, they said limits of bass. Now, he didn't make it clear, and I asked him the question, Dan, you are a lousy reporter sometimes. He did make it clear whether the boat had limits of bass, or Michael had limits of bass, or everybody had limits of bass, or Dan Lightfoot had limits of bass. Somebody had limits of bass. I know Michael Limon did. So way to go. Uh-oh, more. It's coming on more. Do we have to move again? Not quite. Man, this is crazy down here, Greg.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right, Rich Tauber. Rich is a great fisherman, and he provides some great outdoor adventures for you. You can reach him at richtauberfishing.com. He fished the Ventura Coast yesterday and had outstanding bass fishing. So that was really good. Big hammer baits were the way to get it done. Some more on that halibut that's around. Tony Wiggins with a nice halibut. What do you think, Greg? I'm ready to bail. Tony Wiggins with a nice halibut. Right. The Ara Ann, he ended up with 3,500 sand dabs yesterday out of Long Beach for fishing. So that is good stuff. Morgan Promnitz. Is that right, Morgan? I hope I got you right. With some white sea bass on the iron. He also had some photos of prior catches, making the point that you can catch sea bass in the wintertime here in Southern California on the iron. On the surf, well, come on. I don't think this is a good surf fishing day, that is for sure. But we continue to see some really excellent fishing south of the border. Khalid Herrera with some nice big barred perch. They are biting down there south of the border. Here, once this calms down, we should be able to get back to some yellowfin croaker, a few spotfin croaker. There's even been some late season corvina, although this water is going to really cool down after this blow, and we continue to see halibut in the surf. Don't forget, your surf fishing headquarters, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They are probably open right now, so you can go down there. I wouldn't recommend fishing today, but you can go down there and load up on all the gear you could possibly want. And on a normally nicer day, you'll be able to fish the surf with all the baits that they have at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. The surf's been alive. It's been very good. South of the border, I got to get down there here really soon and give that a try. Is my coffee cold? Not cold, but certainly not hot anymore. And it was red hot. So some pretty good surf fishing going on. No question about that. Lobster fishing, still really good. Pescador sport fishing out of Redondo has been offering some really great opportunities for everybody. Matthew Tran. Matthew, man, thank God you are good. Matthew had limits of lobster last night, but he said it really came up on him. He's talking about this weather. It came up on him. It pushed him way too close to the jetty. He felt like he was in danger. He thanks God that he got back safely, and so do we. You have to really be careful when conditions like this are on the horizon. We were calling for it, told you it would start around sundown last night, and it did, and it remains pretty darn nasty, no question about it. All right, I think that's all we're going to do here today. It's nasty, no question about it, but I think we made it through this, and hopefully you could actually hear it. If not, well, I don't know if I'm going to post it or not, but you'll just see me blah, blah, blah in here in the sandy wind. Wishing you a wonderful Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for everything you do for Friedman Adventures. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.